Question. How do I improve communication in my marriage?
It's a difficult one because communication, as we all know, is key. You don't have communication, you've got zip all. But I think what you and I do really well is we tend to overshare, and we even share the
Smallest little thing.
smallest little things. But rather that than not. Because it's very frustrating when in some marriages you're trying to make plans with someone, they live together, but you're making plans with two different people. But they live in the same house and they're married, or they're a couple, or whatever the case might be. And the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. And I just don't think in marriage it can work that way.
No.
You've got to be one heartbeat. And that is very much you, me, instead of us. So, yeah, I think, to me personally, how do you better communication is by communicating.
Yeah. So I'm obviously someone that's not the over communicator. I come from a family where you rather don't communicate. So marrying you was
I'm also very quiet and reserved.
yeah.
Don't talk very much.
Definitely not. So for me, I had to learn to communicate more because I would rather, in the beginning, I'm sure you agree, just keep quiet and not say when something is bothering me, or when I feel like there's something I have on my heart, I would just have kept it and not spoken about it, and it would boil under the surface. But now I've learned that if something bugs me, I come to you immediately and I say, babe, it's this.
I think we used to joke about it where it was like you were the man and I was the woman because I was doing all the talking because I'm an extrovert and I'm a communicator, and you were not doing any talking.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to teach each other, for me to shut up a little bit and for you to climb out of your shell a bit and let me know what's going on. But also to create the space where you could do that.
Exactly what I wanted to say. I think that in many marriages, unfortunately, it's not a safe space. So you can't be vulnerable with your spouse, and then you tend to just close up rather than have the conversation.
But do you think that's because people are pretending? And it's scary to think that people are married and pretending, but do you think that's because people are pretending? Because they're not actually just being themselves, they're trying to be a version of themselves that they think their spouse would like or whatever?
I think in the beginning, a lot of relationships are kind of play pretend because you put your best foot forward and you want to impress this person, and you're so in love that you try not to hurt them, and you try to do things less or more than you would before you met this person. So I do feel like there's a lot in the beginning that's pretend, and maybe that's what people see as the honeymoon phase, because they don't really see the real person.
I think there's another question coming.
Yeah, about honeymoon phase. So I do believe that there's a lot of pretend in the beginning, and that maybe, that causes the communication or the person to become a different person later on, and then you think you married someone that you don't know, but it's actually not the case. You're actually just becoming yourself.
And I think it ties in as well when people, oh, but she mustn't change me, or oh, but he mustn't change me, or forget it. When you getting married,
There's always change.
There's change. That's it. You don't get married and stay with the same single habits, with the same habits that you had before. That's bullshit. That goes out the door, and you form new habits and you form new ways of doing things because you are now married, not single, not dating. So that's it. I don't know. Do you agree?
Yeah, I feel like people think that when you get married, it is a me and a you, and somewhere in the middle we kind of meet, because I still want to be me and you still need to be you, and I'm not going to change this about me because it's how you met me. But that's just not how it works in marriage. There's always somewhere where you were this way before, like maybe you had guy friends when you were single. You can't have guy friends when you're married. It just doesn't work.
You mean as a lady?
Yes, as a lady.
Okay.
I'm talking obviously as a lady.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, okay, so I've got to have female friends, but yeah, okay.
So there's definitely things that have to change when you get married, because you were you are now us. So it's you and me together, us now. It's not a me and a you now anymore.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to view it in the light of, I want to be
Me.
then maybe marriage isn't for you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to find that it's a very tough road if that's
Yeah, because you're
the
gonna
way
fight
you're
all
going to
the
walk it. Yeah. Okay.
The one thing that I feel is very important though in marriage that a lot of people miss these days is actually really being themselves. Because
Yeah, authentically you.
Yes. So you don't have to change as a person, although changing when you get older. I mean, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago.
No.
I'm not going to be the same person
remotely,
10 years
yeah.
from now. So there's change throughout your life. But I feel like it is really, really important that you need to be able to be who you are with your spouse instead of feeling like your spouse wants you to be a certain type of person and this is the person that wants you to be. Oh, I can't say this right now, I can't wear that right now, or whatever silly thing. If there's any small thing like that you are not doing because you're worried your spouse is not going to agree with it, then there's already a small problem, and small problems become big problems.
And that's when you start hiding shit.
Exactly.
Because what you start doing is let's take bad habits. You're a smoker, your wife wants you to quit. You don't really want to quit, but your wife wants you to quit. You're in love.
And it is good for you not to smoke.
100%. No, 100%. And what do? You quit smoking. But every opportunity you get behind her back, when you go to work, when you're smoking. Because you don't want to quit smoking. Because you feel like you can't be you. That's where you need to come to the table and say, look, like, babe,
I really don't want to stop
this is like something I really, and work or navigate through that. Because if you're going to hide shit and do it like that, it's going to be far worse than what it's going to be like coming out.
And I also believe if you can hide something small, you can hide something big.
Yeah, it accumulates, it does.
Yeah,
Because
so-
you need to start compounding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you get away with hiding the fact that you smoke when you're driving in your car on the way to work or on your way back or whatever, one day there's going to be something else and you're going to be like, it's fine. Because you already have that, I get away with
Conditioned,
it
yeah.
feeling. So as soon as you start with that, it's like when you start smoking marijuana, it's like a gateway drug type of a thing. When you have a small little lie, it becomes a bigger lie and a bigger lie and
Yeah.
a bigger lie. Next question.
Yeah, I think, so to answer that in a nutshell is communicate more. As ironic as it sounds, yeah.
Yeah. We don't really have how do I rebuild trust after infidelity.
I think we can touch on it.
Look, I have no idea.
It's quite simple. It's going to be like eating glass.
Yeah, I
Do
can
I think
imagine.
do I think you can get through it?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's a tough road. We've seen people that we know. It's a tough,
very
hard,
hard.
painstaking, like ice pick by ice pick
Yeah.
climb.
Sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
What we maybe can touch on that's something similar because we've probably experienced it between the two of us.
Yeah.
Not recently though, but whiles ago,
Yeah.
is lying. So if one lies to the other, because that's just as hard as infidelity
100%.
because there's trust that's
Trust.
broken.
Yeah.
So we can maybe talk about that. I feel when you maybe have lied to me before, very long ago, I can't even think of a time, but it has happened, obviously. I try and think of the intention behind it. So why did you actually lie to me? And most of the times when it has happened is because your intention was not to hurt me. So if the intention is bad, then obviously there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But if the intention was something not really bad, it's not as bad. If the intention was something like my wife is going to get hurt if I really tell her the truth, then I can be less angry. But if the intention,
You're still angry, but
Yes.
in essence, you're not justifying the lie.
yes,
But in essence, I know what you're trying to say. I remember a scenario where
yeah,
you also didn't let me know something, not because you wanted to keep it from me, just because of the
yes,
anger and frustration
repercussion.
it would cause in me. So you preferred to just leave it. It wasn't something that happened. It wasn't detrimental. It wasn't anything or a fundamental issue or whatever. But you just preferred to leave it versus me getting worked up and angry about it, etc., etc.
But I think the bottom line is, even a small little lie, even if your intention was not to hurt your spouse, it's just not worth it. It's just come completely honestly and vulnerable. It might still cause a fight, but the fight will probably be
Almost
less
always.
pain-
Yeah, probably almost always.
It will
will
probably
cause a-
be less hard to work through than it would be that you also lied on top of the fact that there
Yeah.
was something that
Yeah.
happened.
And I think we've all experienced that. I think there's not one person watching this or listening to this or that can honestly say. And if you can, I tip my hat your way. But I think we've all been in that street, and we've been faced with situations where it's like, shit, what do I do now? Because this is really, and oftentimes it's
You
not
didn't ask for it.
I was about to say, oftentimes you didn't ask for it. It was as a result of an outside factor, and now you're sitting in a position, and but true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next question. What counts as cheating? A lot of things.
I think in today's society, in today's world that we live in, people justify a lot of shit.
Yep,
And people
they should do.
look, this is my humble opinion, and maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't, but if I'm engaging in a text with a person of the opposite sex, I know, we all know,
Where the line is.
we all know what our intention is, where our heart is in it, and what we're actually doing. It's not a case of, oh no, but I know it's the chick
just
at the
my colleague.
canteen, but we're engaging and we're having a bit of an emotional exchange and a little smiley face and a laugh and high fives and everything. Because what I have learned is it starts there. It's a little, again, coming back to the gateway. So just a little, we're making it comfortable enough where, okay, I trust you, you trust me. I'll start sharing a little bit more, etc., etc. So in terms of what would be classified as cheating is, there's hard lines, and there's people put these guardrails up, and then you've heard me say it before, and then what they try to do is they lean over the guardrail. So they don't climb over the guardrail.
They didn't
but
cheat.
They didn't cheat or whatever, but they lean so over that guardrail that the lines are blurred, whether it's like, geez, are you on this side or on that side? Because it's difficult to say now.
Obviously, as a woman, you are very emotionally attached to things and people. So there's a lot of emotion that plays a role in a woman's life. So for me, cheating is way before anything physical. So it already starts with
And dudes,
emotion.
and I think dudes, like we think, but like I didn't touch her or I didn't do anything. For dudes, it's like physical.
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
has to be a
It's like I
physical
kissed her,
act.
or there was a physical touch or something like that. Then I'm cheating. But if every morning I'm waking up, I'm getting in my car on my
Thinking
way
about
to
that
work,
person.
exactly. Then I've already emotionally in my mind, I've already cheated.
And for me also, I believe that as a woman, if you already thinking about someone else in a way that you should only think about your husband, actually, and if that person even gives you the slightest little butterfly, you are heading for a fall. So if you feel that, immediately run for the hills, pray, do whatever you need to. So
I know
that
you've said that, like, take yourself out of the situation immediately or whatever.
you are not stupid.
Yeah.
You know when this is at the
all
wrong
do.
place, wrong time,
We all do.
wrong person.
We all do. And I think that's what we're trying to clarify here, and that's what we're trying to do here, is to be that raw, authentic, not covered up little buttered up version. Is the reality is as a human being, as a person with emotions, with a mind, you fucking know when you are
You're not stupid.
exactly. You know when you're crossing that line or not.
Yeah. And as a human being, you want to feel loved, you want to feel accepted, you want to feel all of these
We all
nice
do, men
things.
and women both.
So if ever your husband is not giving you the attention today, or maybe didn't even tell you look nice today, and you would have expected him to say, oh, babe, you look so nice today, and someone else at the office says that, it happens so often with colleagues that people actually get into relationships and cheat on their spouses. So watch out for those things.
I agree fully, and it happens silently, if I can
Yeah.
call it that. It happens without you even knowing it.
Exactly.
It slowly creeps in. It's a few messages exchanged here and there. It's a few little laughs, and all of a sudden I go to work and or I'm out there, and you and I have had an argument, and
Susie comes and says, "Oh, you smell nice." I'll probably slap Susie, but anyway.
of course, but all of a sudden, it's oh, I like this. Like, wow, my wife's like, she's giving me the cold shoulder. She's told me to leave her alone or whatever the case might be. Now all of a sudden I'm going and someone's giving me attention. It's
Someone's noticing I
blowing smoke up your ass,
did
easy.
whatever to cut my hair differently.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
Yeah, like a dude just tells you, oh, wow, that hairstyle suits you or something. All of a sudden your ego is fanned, and that's what it boils down to. I think is his ego. Is we love our egos fanned, and unfortunately for most women they love attention as well.
It's attention for women. I feel it's
I
attention.
think you can
For men,
speak
it's
on
probably
women's
ego.
behalf before I get slaughtered, but the reality that I've seen is sometimes it's good or bad attention, but for the most part,
Yeah.
it does something for us.
And it also,
It's like dudes' egos.
yeah, it also starts very innocently. Like you say, it's that small little meet at the watering can, whatever. Meet at the making coffee quickly in the morning. Innocent
And then you
conversation.
start looking forward to it.
Yeah. Then you actually go wait there. Is he coming now? Is he
Been
not?
there, done that, guilty.
Not worth it.
Yeah, been there, done that, guilty. I mean, you know my history, I know yours, etc., etc. We know our pasts, and yeah, it starts more subtly than you think.
Yeah. But you have that feeling.
Yeah,
So
but
listen, listen.
yeah, if you both go back, you knew.
Yeah. Okay. How do we keep intimacy
tongue
alive
twister.
long term? I just want to say one thing about
Okay,
this.
jump in.
Obviously, intimacy for women and men are also different things that women interpret it differently.
What? You mean to tell me that after all this time?
And sometimes
I thought it was the same.
women weaponize intimacy, which is not cool, but a conversation for another day. But I feel like because there's such a disjoint between intimacy for a woman and intimacy for a man, it might sound so not romantic, but you have to have a practical, this is what we're going to do to make sure our intimacy stays for long term. And for me, I feel the rule of not longer than 3 days is a good rule.
I think
Day one, day two.
it's far too long, but anyways. Yeah.
Day 1, day 2, day 3 is too long. You can't leave it till after day
It's actually our little cue. But I agree with you. So let me jump in there. So I think in marriage, like it's exactly that. Is especially the longer you've been married, life takes over. There's kids. It's busy. It's chaos. It's work. It's pursuing careers. It's the pool pump broke. The dog needs to
life.
go to the vet. There's so much happening
Just life,
that it's so easy to let that fall off the wagon. And face it, everyone
Sometimes
wants.
it is a bit easier.
No, 100%. And everyone wants, I mean, it goes without saying, you have a house with kids and you try to,
Work it all.
try to work that out. Good luck. Some of the most testing times in our marriage, I think. But anyways, getting back to my point is and I don't like the word scheduling because you're not scheduling
That's
it.
why I'm saying it sounds unromanticized.
But it's not scheduling it. It's making it a priority, actually.
Yes, it's prioritizing.
Yes. So you are saying, just like anything else, you're saying this is priority for me. So I want to prioritize this for my spouse, and this is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, in my humble opinion, if you are going
Months, weeks.
fucking months, wow.
They're off
If
before
you are
they go
going, no,
months.
and I'm
It does
sorry,
happen.
and it's sad, and it's
is a reality.
and it's a reality, but yeah, that's what it is. But if you are going longer than a week, I mean, I know there's seasons where the shit hits
Someone's
the
ill
fan,
or
and
whatever,
there's no, definitely. Hey, but look, I've been in a cast and everything like it, and I've made a plan. But yeah,
love it,
it's a story.
seriously.
That's a story for another day. But what I'm trying to say is if you're going to go that long, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. And I don't want to throw out the perimenopause and
there
that
are
shit's real.
reasons.
That shit's like proper, like there's, wow.
There are conditions, yes.
100%.
Yes. of
100%. But you can fix that.
Yeah.
There are fixes for that, and there are ways to, and we'll get into that maybe in another video or something like that. But there are so many ways that you can fix that and change that, and you don't have to suffer.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm going off on a tangent, but the reality is I've seen it go left field, and I've seen it come right back as a result of addressing it. But to answer the immediate question is it's not scheduling, it's prioritizing.
Yeah.
Because look, I mean, it goes without saying, for dudes,
That's why I'm saying there's a disjoint because dudes are like,
100%.
and ladies are like,
I don't know, yeah. Anytime is tea time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And for you, like sometimes you just want your back tickled.
Yeah,
You know?
sometimes.
And I think that's what dudes also mustn't get wrong. Is there's certain levels of intimacy. You know, sometimes I'm gonna rub my wife's feet and I'm gonna tickle her back and I'm gonna scratch her hair or whatever because that is
That
what it
sounds
is.
good.
Yeah, 100%. We all know the favorites. But that's what it is. And that's also where it needs to stay.
for that night,
Exactly.
at least.
If it organically happens to
Yeah.
progress, then it happens. And I mean, but that will be a mutual thing.
And obviously
but I
there'll
don't
be
think that-
cues from the woman's side, which the husband will probably pick up on.
You'd be surprised at how bad
People don't
dudes are
know.
at picking up cues. I mean, for some men, like if you just like accidentally had to touch him.
Oh, yes, okay.
I always use the analogy that I heard from someone one day where he said his buddy would get into bed and if his wife's foot just touched his foot, he was like, "Okay, it's on. It's on." And men, we get that cue wrong sometimes. And like ladies, you got to understand, like you know, sometimes we get that cue wrong, but we
Always
hunters.
ready.
We hunters. We can't help it. We were born that way. We were made that way. We were created that way by God.
And that's beautiful.
And the key there is as well. What I think a lot of women don't get right is your husband wants that from you,
Yeah.
not from anyone else, from you.
And the moment it gets weaponized, like I touched on earlier, the moment a woman uses intimacy as, well, maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't, because I've got the power or whatever, that's when your husband will stop wanting it from you and start looking elsewhere. So,
And it's not justifying it, but I mean, you're just creating a shitstorm. You're creating the perfect storm.
Unfortunately,
you're not
yeah.
communicating. You
keeping intimacy.
You're keeping intimacy away. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's sad.
eventually, again, I'll come back. I'll circle right back to why are you married?
Yeah. It's
You
like that
understand?
funny thing old people used to say is never leave your husband, or never let your husband leave the house hungry or on an empty stomach or without intimacy. Because
Or aroused,
yeah,
because that's a storm waiting to happen.
it's just
Ciao.
bad.
Ciao and intimacy.
Just look after him
Yeah.
in that sense. But yeah, for me it was just to finish up, it was something that I realized I need to prioritize for our marriage, but also for my husband, because I am a woman and my hormones are, like people know, always different. I'm always thinking a million things. I needed to get a practical plan,
Solution. Yeah.
solution, and it works for both of us.
And I
And
don't
it works
think
for our marriage.
Yeah, and I think it's not that you didn't want intimacy.
No, not at
we were
all,
never at that
No,
stage.
we
But
never at
what
that
I'm trying to say is it's just that life gets so busy
Yeah.
that intimacy tends to sort of fall to the back. So by making it I almost want to call it a date, then it can't fall to the back.
Yeah.
And it's helped us in
Yes,
situations because
definitely.
it's helped us where we've been agitated or
Very
irritated.
irritated, yeah.
Let me tell you what, be irritated, be annoyed, be frustrated, have a lot of shit going on or whatever, and be intimate with your spouse and watch that.
Conquer the world after that.
Not always, but yeah.
Almost.
Okay, cool.
Next question. Okay. How should married couples handle finances?
Openly.
100%. I do agree.
So a lot of people are, and depending on what country you're in or whatever, a lot of people are husband works, earns
handles
the money,
all the
that's it.
finances,
She gets her, if you want to call it allowance or whatever.
share or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
unfortunately, we are in 2026. I think there's very
Doesn't
few,
work like that.
very few places. If you're the only dude working and your wife's staying at home, man,
Kudos
up
to you.
Yeah. But the reality is to juggle in today's day and age is
Both partners have
both
to
partners
work,
have to work. Yeah, and I think it's also good. I think it's good for
I
women.
prefer work.
Not that stay-at-home moms have got an easy job by
No,
any
that's why I'm
means.
saying I
That's- yeah.
prefer work. Kudos to
I
stay
think
at home
sometimes you
moms.
check out, drop the kids off, and not because we don't love them, but just because I can imagine being a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids and
I think that's really that's not a full-time job. That's like a triple full-time job to be a
Yeah,
stay-at-home
for sure.
mom. So that's why I don't choose it. I love my children. I just feel like I can be productive at work as well and come home and give my love and attention, all my love and attention to my children and my husband.
So coming back to the finance, openly, I say, because what I mean by openly is one bank account or 2 bank accounts, but I mean,
Both know what's happening.
we do
in
the
either
budget, we
bank
know
account.
exactly what's happening in either's account. We're accountable. So I'm not just going to go and blow a couple of grand on something without you knowing.
Yeah,
I'm going to touch base with you and say, hey, babe, I'm looking at this, or you know what, I'm considering this or whatever. And what we do really well is we allocate spending money.
Money to you, money to
Yeah,
me.
so we've got our expenses and everything, and then what we do is we allocate spending money. So Leanne's got her spending money, and Lynn's got his spending money, and that's it. And you want to buy a pair of sneakers, you got your spending money. You don't need to phone and, is it
Can I
okay
buy
if I
this
buy a
now?
coffee?
No.
Or no, we don't mean like that. But
No,
what I mean by openly is there's no her money, my money.
Yeah.
We say it's not your money, my money, it's our money.
Yeah.
And it gets put together, and that's it.
Yeah, so we have a budget that works together. His money comes in, my money comes in, and all the expenses get paid out of
Yeah.
both.
I know a lot of people who have got no clue what's
What
in their
goes on
spouse's
in their
account.
spouse's
Like no clue.
Yeah, look, for us, it works to know exactly what's happening, and I believe it also holds us accountable, and it also brings us closer to each other, because when there are difficult times, which is completely natural in any house, we both know. It's not one that's got the stress, because usually it's the man that sits with all the stress, and his wife doesn't even know what's going on.
Mommy's got no clue what's cutting on the budget, so yeah.
And I think it's just better if you can have all of that together. You share all of that so that you kind of spread the burden, you know, and obviously then you know what's going on, and you can both work at it to make it better next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we fight without destroying the relationship?
You don't. You go all in.
Look, I think that's kind of sometimes what has happened to us before, to be
because
honest.
we're 2 passionate people.
You know,
We're 2 very,
headstrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 very bold personalities, if I can call it that.
Yeah.
So never back down.
Yeah. Yes, we are both.
At all costs, I'll die. I'll die on this hill before I give up. Yeah.
We are both very, very strong individuals. Even though I am the more quiet one, I can be quite headstrong, and I can. This is the
reckon?
way it's going to be.
A
And
little bit, slightly. Yeah.
yeah, I've learned to not be like that anymore. But I was really bad in the beginning. I know.
You used to shut down completely.
Yeah.
Like, mains, pull out the plug, off.
Yes,
Done.
yes.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, I kind of was like the man. Just stop talking.
Yeah.
Didn't communicate.
And I wanted to sort it out now.
Yes, and my capacity was not ready for now. So let's be honest, we've had fights that could have destroyed our relationship.
No, by all means.
But
By all
yeah,
means. And I don't think anyone here can say they haven't. You know,
Yeah.
there's those make or break. There's those crossroad
really
fights
bad.
where it's
Yeah.
we're either going together or we're going our separate ways. You know, unfortunately, it's never an option, but it gets to that point.
No, I will never divorce you, but murder,
Yeah, possibly. No. So I sleep with one eye open.
no. So I feel like we've really improved in that sphere of our relationship, because we know each other well enough now to know that we are together in this. I think in the past it was, I'm fighting against you because
And not the problem.
yes,
Yeah.
instead of the problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't us against the world type of a thing.
And we do that, but we do that. We tend to
Yeah.
offload on our spouse. We do.
Yeah.
We come home, you've had a bad day, you show face at work,
Yep.
and everything's all good, and even though you feel like you want to throttle people, but and then you come home, and the first person to get it is the person is you actually love the most, and
Yeah.
and they just
sad.
because it's a safe space, so you start to offload on them and just pack out, and they're like, whoa, hold up, what's going on here? You know what I'm
What
saying?
did I do?
Yeah, and then it can snowball. But to answer the question in a nutshell is, I think time. I think time is a big thing. I understand you. You understand me. I know what to do when you're in those situations. I don't always get it right.
No, we still get it wrong sometimes.
Yeah, no, 100%. But we try to, and a massive thing that I think we've both had to learn is respect.
Well, probably me more than you, but we can touch.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad that you said it. But anyways, no, I'm joking. But is respect.
Yeah.
Is no matter how bad it is and the fight is and whatever, if you can maintain, even if at that stage you've got half a cup of respect, it's better than no cup of respect.
Yeah.
Because things spiral and get really bad and nasty when
Intense,
intense when there's no respect. When there's still that little bit of respect, it's sort of amicable. I can go my way, you can go your way, we can cool down. Often what happens for me is if I go train, done, steam off. You like to just kind of resort to yourself and just process.
Yeah.
And what I did in the past was not let you process and like, yo, let's sort it out now, I want to talk now, let's finish it now, come, let's go. And I can go for days.
Yeah, you have capacity that
You don't have.
to the ends of the earth that I have never had,
remotely.
probably never will have.
No, but you've increased your capacity.
I did, but you gave me the space to do so.
Yeah.
Because before, you wouldn't give me the space. You would want to sort out the situation. I would want to think about the situation and have some time. And you would, well, also the way I did it, I would just stop talking, which wasn't right. But it was just my way of going, okay, wait, I need to deal with this quietly one side for a while.
Yeah, and I'm going, are you ignoring me? What the hell? Why are you ignoring me? I'm asking you a question. Why aren't you answering me? And instead of saying, I just need to process, you would just blank ignore.
Yeah,
like, not that you were intentionally ignoring me, you were just shutting down.
I was just like,
your nervous system was going haywire. So it's learning that.
yeah, it's learning that, and it's, once again, it's not me fighting you, it's us, and there's a problem there.
For sure.
You need to remember that.
Yeah. Remember that as well for our next argument.
Got it. Banked. How do we... Okay, we have that one. What are the most common reasons couples divorce? I've been through a divorce.
Yeah.
We just grew apart.
I was about to say. So I haven't, but I can speak of serious relationships that
Didn't put in the
people have
energy.
either effed up or I've effed up or a combination of me and the other person effing up. We've all got our stripes and we've all got our stars that we've been
Not
through.
very proud of.
Yeah, our proud moments and our really not proud moments. So let's not kid ourselves here. We've all hurt people. We've all been hurt. We've all been there. We're not proud of things and whatever, but what are we if we don't better ourselves and move on?
Yeah, you have to.
But I do agree with you, is you grow apart.
Yeah.
And you grow apart, I believe, by neglecting all the things that we've spoken about sort of earlier.
Yeah.
Is because you start to then not become or not stay us or we, and it's you, me.
Yeah.
And I start to drift that way and you start to drift that way. And the more you start to drift, I always think of it like a wedge. Like you're trying to
it gets
split wood.
bigger and bigger
Like
and
you
bigger,
take a log and you put it on a wood splitter and you hit it once and it's got like a little wedge.
Yeah.
And the more and more, there's no intimacy, no communication, no respect, none of those type of things. Every one of those is just one more hit, and it starts to split. Eventually
Then
it
it's
just breaks.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And stubbornness.
well, yeah, obviously we've spoken about my stubbornness and how I'm a little bit better, but I do feel that some relationships unfortunately do end up in divorce because that is unfortunately what was meant to happen. look, I don't agree with divorce. I'm not saying I'm an advocate for divorce.
You've been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yes.
You know what it's horrible. Yeah.
It's not great to be a statistic.
Yeah.
But there are relationships that need to end in divorce for various reasons, abuse, whatever, just whatever. I don't agree with divorce, but I do agree with some relationships just.
Yeah,
They just need to
I
end.
think what happens often, and again, guilty as charges, is I think sometimes we go into relationships for the wrong reasons,
Yeah,
and we almost try to force it,
yeah,
and we try to force the next step is we need to get married. So but
it's the world's like pressure.
exactly deep down inside, I'm not ready for marriage, or I'm not ready for this, or
Also, I'm not really sure.
100%. Well, there you've already, so you know me. I
Yeah.
call a spade a spade. Black is black, white is white. For me, grey, I battle. I'm trying to get some shades there.
I'm teaching him some grey,
Yeah.
some extra
But-
shade in his color.
Yeah. Not those shades of grey, but anyways.
Oh, no,
But
no.
but the reality is, for me, there's black and there's white, and it's exactly that. With it either is or it isn't.
Yeah,
There's no in between.
no.
And sometimes you force things, and you, like I say, you get into things for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and if it was the wrong reasons from the beginning, inevitably it's going to end up.
You knew it, because the moment you have that little bit of doubt,
Yeah, it's done.
I mean, I knew hands down. For me, we all know the story. I don't need to rehash it. But anyways, hands down for me, there wasn't that's why we dated, got married. There wasn't and people take their time and have their time on certain, I mean.
People are different.
Yeah, 100%, and there's nothing wrong with that. You do you. But for me, it's like, what am I doing? What am I waiting for? I know. So why am I waiting?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people ask, how do you know? You just know.
You
know.
feel it. You feel
That's it. You do.
And if you don't feel it, then it's probably not meant.
But that's what I'm saying about forcing it.
Yeah.
Because I've been there, done that in the past, where I had that feeling like I shouldn't, like I don't really know if this is for, and I did it in any case. And
Again, it was
I ended up hurting people because of that. Because I create false hope, and like you say, ladies and whatever, and she's in it to win it, and I don't know, am I or am I not? So rather just the moment there's that little bit of doubt, that's
not fair on anyone. So,
never. It's horrible. It's horrible. No one should go through that, but unfortunately, we all experience that pain at least once in our life.
Yeah, I also, well, I know it sounds very like gimmicky, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It is true.
True.
You learn from mistakes. That's, I believe, why we are on earth, because we just build more character with the more challenges that we have.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Unfortunately.
when you've been through pain and you've gone through a bad experience, you know next time, that's a warning sign. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, please, I'm just saying I'm good. I don't need any tests, or I don't need any character. We're good.
Our character is good.
Our character's good. Okay,
Next question.
cool.
How do we divide household responsibilities fairly?
Simple. You do everything.
I was
and I
waiting
chill.
for that. Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, I think. Okay, you go.
So, without trying to sound like a 1950s housewife or something,
Damn straight.
I have a full-time job, full-time career. I do work hard.
Not so bad.
Yeah, I do
Okay.
work hard. I mean, we both provide for our family. But I do feel there are certain things that women do and there are certain things that men do in our house. So for
We
me,
are old school like that.
yes, we are. So for me, I know my husband, and I know that for him, chaos causes chaos inside of him. So if the house is chaotic and there's dishes in the sink and there's shoes lying around and it's just deurmekaar, it's just a mess.
Brain tends
Yeah,
to short
he
circuit.
goes-
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
then, without him even realizing it, he's irritated and he kind of has irritation towards people around him.
Yeah, that's actually true. My whole demeanor changes in the house.
Yes.
And only
Luckily,
now,
I'm clever enough to have
yeah,
picked it
only
up.
now that you've actually mentioned this is that I've actually taken note of actually my demeanor shifts.
Yes.
Like I don't know why I'm irritable or why but now that you say that makes perfect sense.
So for me, I make sure the house is clean. I make sure that when my husband gets home, it's neat and clean and there's not a lot of mess. Look, we still live in a house, obviously. We still a family of 4 living in a house. But at least it's neat and there's not a lot of chaos. And I feel that I can do that part. He can do other things. You can do things in the garden and things like that. You can also.
I think I take care of the dude shit.
Yes.
Like I take care of what needs to happen with the gardener, what needs to happen with security with if it's time to tango, it's me.
Yeah, definitely not going to be me.
Not you.
Not going to be me, and that's also why I'm very happy
maybe we can put some like camo stripes something, but yeah.
I'll probably be quite scared of that. But that's why I'm very happy to do those little things where I'm sure the house is clean and neat and whatever.
And I think women know better. Like
with those things.
Like if I had to open the fridge, I'm not stupid. I can use my hands. I mean, we all know that. But if I had to open the fridge and I'm like, wow, what are we gonna eat?
Yeah.
You know, and you know me, like the easiest way.
You'll help me cook if I tell you.
For sure.
Please make this or whatever. So
I'll cook all day, any day.
It's not a thing of you have to do all the womanly things. You have to be barefoot in the kitchen, pregnant, whatever. It's not like that. If I don't get to everything, you are more than happy to help me. I'll say, babe, I'm really not Liz to make food tonight. Please, can you cook tonight? Here's the food, just cook it.
Liz, for those of you who aren't in South Africa, Liz is like, I'm really not in the mood.
Yeah, I'm not.
In South Africa, we use slang called Liz.
Sorry, it's an Afrikaans
I'm
slang
not
word.
Liz for this, yeah.
So when I don't feel like cooking, my husband would definitely help. But I have just realized that I also like making sure the house is clean and neat and doing the typical womanly stuff because it works for me too.
Yeah, I think dudes is dude stuff and ladies is lady stuff.
I really
and
don't
we
wanna-
overlap in the middle.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
If I'm if he's coming home late or whatever, then I'll make sure the security is sorted around the house and we're fine. But it's really not my forte, and I might forget something once in a while.
I'll usually phone you and say, have you done this or that? Or,
Yeah, so-
and likewise,
Yeah.
I'll phone you and ask you, what do you want for supper?
Yeah.
Is there something I need to make? Do I need to take something out? Do I, you know?
Yeah.
And groceries, we've kind of got a set. I don't call it
Grocery
grocery
list.
list, but we do. We've kind of like we eat
Similar food.
so it's kind of standard. So there's not much. And we also try to simplify things like that.
Yeah.
I think I definitely do because
Life's just too hard to make it more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah.
So
there's already so many choices you have to make. Now you have to compound it by
what
are we going to
eating?
eat? What are the no? So try and a word of advice. Try and get rid of the clutter or the noise, so that when you actually have to use your brain and your brain capacity, you're focusing on things that matter.
Yeah. Instead of tonight supper.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Next, how do I balance marriage, career, and family? We've kind of spoken a lot about that, though. But how do we balance it? I think we still get it wrong sometimes.
I don't think there is balance.
Yeah, what is even balance?
Yeah, so I think you integrate it. I used to believe in the whole
Balance.
work-life balance, this, that, and then I've realized if you truly want to be successful,
We're really in sync, eh?
and did we just do that? Yeah, that's so cute. If you really wanna be successful, whatever successful means to you, but I'm talking in a stable kind of way, in a financial, in a mental, in a relational way, etc. If you want to be stable, then there isn't
No, there
balance.
isn't.
You integrate the two, so
Yeah.
it becomes like an integration. It becomes like I remember phone calls after hours, etc., etc. But
We get them.
we eventually got to a point where we were like, look, this is our livelihood. This is what separates us, and this is what sets us apart from the rest.
Because we take the call
Exactly.
at night.
So taking the call at night,
Versus the offset or the...
yeah. But taking the call at night allows me to take my family on vacation.
Exactly.
You understand? So you got to do that trade-off. So I've got
Trade-off is what
yeah,
it's
I've got 2 weeks with my family in an
Wherever location, yeah.
amazing destination or something like that, and it's fun, and with the boys, and it's great and whatever. So there's a trade-off at that time. So, but hey, for some people they want the 8 to 5 cutoff. That's it, and respect that.
Yeah,
but
look, I mean, if
that's
you can do that, good on you as well.
That's you.
Our lifestyle just hasn't allowed us to have the work-life balance that people talk about. I work weekends often. I work after hours often. I go out on weekends for work. It's just what it is. But then again, we always find a way to meet in the middle as a family. Family time is very important to us.
Yeah.
We love our children a
Being
lot.
intentional about that as well.
Yes. So we definitely realize that there's chaos, but in the middle of the chaos, we definitely also make time, even if it's a moment or two, to just be together.
Yeah.
Like our puppy wants to be together with
Let me
us.
just put something down here for him.
Yeah, he's irritating us now because he wants to lie down.
The boss of the house.
Okay. Next question.
I want you to pick something. I don't know what's on there.
This is
Go through it and pick
this
a
one.
perler for us.
What are the signs of a toxic relationship or marriage? That is definitely a pearl, and it's a really hard one to answer.
Yo, people hide things so well.
Yeah. So how do you see the signs of something toxic? You know something that I can say I've realized in relationships, when there's something I pick up and I realize something is not okay. Yeah. I mean, it's maybe not even a toxic relationship, but it's maybe heading for something bad, is when there's very little grace. Like irritability between the couple is high. So let's say we're visiting.
It's almost as if they tolerate each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say we're visiting and someone says something. The wife has an irritation with her husband.
Snappiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she'll say something that is out of place, and that she shouldn't be doing in front of other people in public about her husband. She's what do you call it when you
Air your laundry.
when you
Not suppressing him. She's belittling him. She's belittling him.
She
yeah.
belittles her husband in front of other
If
people.
you want a duty check out, then cool.
Yeah,
that
do
goes
that.
hand in hand with
Do
respect.
that.
It's like the love and respect. It's like we want love. We,
No,
for
you want
sure.
love, but you want respect
For sure, 100%.
above all.
100%.
Yeah. So that's when I realize
Respect is love for a man. And when you belittle a man like that, it's
there's nothing more ugly, I think.
you're unplugging his core.
Yes.
You're-
You are actually ripping his spine out by doing that to him. So I feel like
It's like dude saying to a lady, she's the most unattractive thing he's ever looked at or something. It will absolutely soul destroy her.
break her, yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I see relationships are at a bad point, like I said, maybe not even toxic, but maybe heading there, is when you see that between them. And I speak mostly from a wife's, obviously, point of view, because
You will, because you're a lady.
Yes. But for me, as soon as a wife starts belittling her husband, or even joking, like making a joke and being like, oh, I'm so stupid, or he's so stupid. Sorry, that's now again in Afrikaans.
Doesn't it usually start like that?
Yeah, it starts with a small little, she's just joking, but she's got such
Because
irritation with
that
him.
little ratio of it's a
Yeah.
joke, but there's 20% truth in
Yeah.
that type of a thing. You know?
And then it gets to a point where it's so bad that they just, in front of everyone, start airing dirty laundry, start belittling it. It's just terrible. So for me, that's
it spirals.
that's a sign.
Yeah, like I've seen women do that, and then I've seen men that are just absolutely
Plugged out.
fucking assholes, to put it lightly. They think the sun shines out of their ass. They think they're God's gift to women. They think they can do whatever they want to at a social event or whatever. They think they can.
Yeah, they're now the ones again.
I don't know, they think
it's
they
like domineering over their wives, type of a thing.
Top dog,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I kind of want to touch on this because we are a Christian couple. We still get a lot of things wrong, but we believe that our faith is very important. So in order to grow together, we have to grow in Christ. So we strive for that. And I believe 100%, like the Bible says, your husband, you need to submit, okay? I know people hate the word
Love it.
submit.
Preach it, sister.
But this is the point, that sometimes I'm thinking about the type of man you're talking about. The point that people miss is the Bible says, submit to your husband, okay, who is loving his wife like she is the bride or
Christ's bride.
yes,
Yeah, for sure.
which is the church, which is the people
It's
of
not submitting like today's world understands submitting.
yes.
Submissive.
So you
no.
don't submit under an abusive husband because he is not loving you the way Christ loved the church or his bride. So you submit to a man that is a God-fearing man.
I create the environment
Yes,
which
where
then
I
allows
can
you
submit.
to submit because the
Yes.
environment is
It's
of
safe.
such a way. Yeah, 100%.
Yes. So you don't submit to someone who's going to abuse you. That's not the way the Bible says it. Yeah.
It's the same as men with loving your wives. Like dudes loving and wives loving, sometimes polar opposites, because we tend to, our love tends to be
Intimacy.
Like, intimacy. It's like, but I'm loving you, you know. No, but you're not loving me like I need to be loved,
Yeah.
you know. And that takes time, and that takes that openness and that vulnerability
Conversation,
to
communication.
chat to your wife, and you need to know your wife. You need to know. I need to know you through and through. You need to know me through and through, and that allows all of this to flourish. Okay, cool. I think.
One last question, maybe, or do you
Okay.
want to end it off?
No, let's go.
Ooh, this is a nice one. I really like this question.
Okay.
How long does the honeymoon phase last, and what happens after? So,
As long as you want to.
for me,
That's my answer. I'll elaborate if you want me to, but yeah.
yeah, I'll let you elaborate because I might just get very emotional if I don't let you talk now.
Your eyes are already watering.
Yes.
Yeah. So as long as you want it to last. I don't think there's a cap. I don't think this whole thing of honeymoon phase or whatever.
Yeah.
I think if you live the way that we've just spoken about and whatever, you'll always be in that honeymoon phase. I'll always view you as absolutely gorgeous and. I'll always want to pursue you and I'll always want to serve you. And I think the same with me. I think what a lot of guys do, and dudes, I'm gonna speak straight up to you now. With all due respect, you can't walk around looking like absolute shit and think your wife must desire you. I mean, would you reverse the roles? How would you feel? Would you desire her or whatever? You look after yourself.
You look after
I
yourself.
look after myself. It's a personal responsibility. It's a responsibility we owe to each other. And it's not just...
It's not conditional.
No, it's not conditional.
It's not about
and
a
it's,
condition.
And it's not only fitness or aesthetic wise
Health
or
as
whatever.
well, yeah.
It's health, it's mindset,
Yeah.
it's what we fill our tanks with,
Yes.
and it's how we grow.
Yeah.
Like I think what a lot of times what happens is we've all heard it, women can tend to let themselves go,
Or men.
especially after they're married, and men as well. And once that starts happening, once you stop putting in the effort or whatever. So what I always relate to is when I first started dating you, what were the things that I did?
That's a good reference.
Yeah, how did I show up? How did I, and even though we've been married for as many years as we've been married, I still try to show up in those same ways. I still try to have you have that sparkle and go, damn.
No, my man.
Exactly. And likewise, and I know you do as well.
Yeah.
And you put in the effort and you take the attention to detail and you do those things.
Look, there's nothing nicer to me than my husband appreciating the effort that I put in to look after myself. I do it for myself as well,
100%.
but it's very important to me that my husband, no other person, my husband acknowledges that and he enjoys it. It's for his enjoyment.
And you said a key thing there, my husband, because I think it becomes dangerous when, again,
Yes, yeah.
the canteen chat when someone else is enjoying it. You know, and it's true, and it's likewise for me.
Yeah. For me, the honeymoon phase is not over. We've been married about just over 10 years.
Doing something right.
Let me just try and get this out.
Don't joke.
I am so in love with my husband that he fascinates me every day. when something happens in my life, I mean, a car drives in front of me, a stupid example. The first person I want to tell is my husband, because I want to tell him, babe, this just happened, or whatever, or something funny, or something amazing. The excitement that I have, I don't want to share with anyone else. I want to share it with my husband.
It's sacred, yeah.
Yes, it's for him.
Yeah.
And he's my best friend, and he's my confidant. And
That's key. We didn't actually touch on that.
Yeah.
Being best
we
friends.
should.
Yeah.
He is everything that I want in a friend, in a husband, and I know some people are going to say it's unhealthy to have your best friend as your husband as well. It works for us, it works for me. So, I mean, and I'm still in the honeymoon phase. So something is obviously working.
I'm not your only friend, I'm just your best
Yes,
friend.
yes. That's probably
Yeah.
the key is
Yeah.
I do have friends, but my best friend is my husband.
And you're very selective on your friends, so am I.
Yeah,
The
you
people
have
that
to be.
are
That's
the-
also something we have
The
to
people
talk
that
about.
are in my life are, but we'll make another video about that. Yeah.
So the honeymoon phase for me is still every day I get butterflies when I think about my husband, when I think about experiences we've had together. I smile. And it is as a result of everything that we do intentionally in our marriage to stay like this.
For sure.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
if it does work. Just try.
Love you, babe. Thanks for being vulnerable.
Maybe it's
Not always
important.
easy on
Yeah.
the camera, but so be it. It's raw and authentic, like we said.
If there's something that we have said that has sparked something or helped someone, that's why we did it.
Yeah, I think when we started this, the whole thing is no bullshit.
Yeah.
Raw,
I will say
unfiltered.
no nonsense.
Raw, unfiltered, uncut. I
No
mean,
nonsense.
Yeah, 100%. That's it. I'm not doing this, or we're not doing this for anything other than to help other people out there, and I hope we do. And
So do I.
I'm really hopeful that we do, and I'm sure that we will. And maybe this is just something that someone needed just to,
Maybe.
just to flip that coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're young. We still
we?
make a lot of mistakes. Well,
I don't know.
relatively young.
My body doesn't really feel that way. Yeah.
We're relatively young. So we don't have all the experience in the world, but we have gone through enough deep waters.
Yeah, I think you and I come from some hardcore
Yes,
backgrounds. Yeah.
And have come out stronger together, and that is why we want to share. That's all.
For sure. Till next time.
See you again.
Cool. Ciao.